Hey peeps, how you doing? Good. I'm glad you're doing well. Little housekeeping real quick. First and foremost, I'm the author of a kick-ass new book called Not Taught. So my name is @Keenan on Twitter. Break out your phones, get them out, and tweet through this whole session. I got a little elf in the background following everybody, and whoever tweets the most cool stuff, I got a book for the top 2 people who do it. Signed book, all right? So get it out. @Keenan, use the hashtag Sales Summit. You guys with me? Oh, seriously? Come on, y'all, come on. All right, now also, I learned a long time ago, connect with your audience. So I want to thank all y'all for being here instead of Anthony Robbins, because I know that's a big fucking deal. Right? So, in the spirit of that, I got some beer for some people. All right? So I got some beer. First 6 hands that are up. Let me see them. Oh! All right. Here's 1. All right, here's 2. I got to come over here and help some people. Hey, what's my name? Who said? Oh! Who said? All right, here. This lady right here. All right. James Keenan. He jumped all over that. Has anybody actually heard or seen me speak before? Anybody read my book before? Oh, that's a bump. Say what? But you, oh, there we go. She knows how to do it. She will. Thank you. There you go. Housekeeping stole my Red Bull, so that's my payback. I got 2 more. Okay, this gentleman, let me get someone in the back. Someone do something, someone jump up. First one, jump up and do a jumping jack. Oh, this guy over here was the first one. Hey! There you go, baby. Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to have some fun with this. Thank you so much for coming. I am going to get serious, kind of, but not really. But look, here's the deal. I'm going to talk about coaching. But before I talk about coaching, I want to set the appropriate stage. That if you are no longer an individual contributor, you have one job. How many people in here are individual contributors? All right, good. I like you guys. So you guys are planning for your future here, huh? I like that. Playing ahead, thinking ahead, going long. Love it. I'm assuming the rest of you, show of hands, are all in some sort of management or leadership position. Yes? Yes. So, here's the interesting thing about this. Our number one job, when we're not an individual contributor, in any job, by the way, that could be a janitor, that could be an accountant, that can be a salesperson. If you're not doing the job, what is your job? Anybody? There's your hint. Oh, shoot, it didn't work. Sorry, there it is. It's leadership. Guys, if you are no longer turning the screw, your job is to get people to turn the screw. Yet, we lose sight of that. Just for a little grin and giggle, hello, Trish Bertuzzi. Raise your hand. Everybody know Trish Bertuzzi, the genius in inside sales? Give her some love. Woo! Just for grins and giggles, I ran a search on LinkedIn, jobs, CRO, Chief Revenue Officer. And I want to read a job description. First job description that came up. How many times do you think the word leadership was in the job description? Anyone want to take a stab? Who said 0? Okay, you're close. Who said 1? 1. One time! One time! That's it. And it was the second to last bullet. It said, strong leadership and written communication skills. Seriously? The Chief Revenue Officer, and you put leadership as an afterthought. Come on, people. Come on. We got to start understanding that if we want to be successful as managers, as vice presidents, as directors, that word leader is not trite. It's real. Our job is people. And we need to recognize that and ask ourselves how much of our time is dedicated to the people. Because the more responsibility you get, the more you rely on people, because you can't do it yourself. You need people. So this part of that we're going to talk about today is the development of people, the growth of people, and how you do it. Okay, look, I already said it. It's all about growth. If you want growth, if you want to get more out of your organization, you can throw more money at it, absolutely. You can buy tools, create productivity, or you can get your people to perform better. That one's free. That one's free. So ask yourself, how much time are you spending getting the most out of your people? One of the things that, one of my favorite phrases is, a great leader gets more out of their people than they can get out of themselves. And I swear to God, guys, an entrepreneur running my own business, that is so true. I need to work at getting a good mentor, because there were times I wish somebody was smacking me in the head. I wish there were times someone was looking at me and saying, that was a bad decision. But when you work for someone or someone works for you, that's your job to help them with that. And if you guys familiar with, I'm going to butcher this name, but tennis, Gael Monfils, am I saying that right? Right, Gael Monfils? Anybody familiar with him? Until this year, he refused to have a coach. And some say he's one of the most talented tennis players there is today, but he gets stuck at the quarterfinals. He can never get over the hump. He almost did it this year, didn't he? It was close. I'm waiting for him to get over it so my point comes true. But he gets stuck in the quarterfinals because he refused to have a coach. He finally buckled and got a coach. My anticipation, he's going to get into the semis, if not the finals, real soon. You can only get yourself so far. Great leaders get more out of their people than their people can get out of themselves. Okay, so there is a term or study called weak link, strong link. Malcolm Gladwell talked about this in his Revisionist podcast recently, if any of you have heard it. The idea of a weak link, strong link is the idea that organizations or teams or groups of people are affected by a strong link, a focus on one or two really good people, or weak link, focused on the bottom. Okay? So the study showed that soccer is a weak link sport. And what it argues is, rather than spending tons of money on a Ronaldo or a Messi, you're better off to spend a lot of that, spread that money over your 4 worst players, elevating their game from the bottom up. The argument says in soccer, that one good player can only touch the ball so many times, and because you score so infrequently, that any mistake, one mistake, could cost the whole game. So if you can limit the mistakes, you win more games. So the argument is, get 4 really, really good low players and forget the superstar. Nobody listens to this study, but that's what they say. Now they don't take into consideration, you know, merchandising and all kinds of stuff like that. But if you want to win games, don't do it. Now, to the converse, basketball is a strong link sport. We've all seen it. Michael Jordan, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron James. I mean, the bottom line is, if you get 1 or 2, you know, one superstar, you're going to win a lot of games. You're going to win a lot of games. It's a strong link sport. Lots of scoring. You can put the ball in one person's hand. They can control the game. So why do I tell you this? Sales is a weak link sport. Or, well, yeah, I call it a sport. I'll go with that. Is weak link. It's not about getting that number 1 or number 2 all-star salespeople. I've watched organizations suffocate because they got the one person that blasts through quote, everybody else sucks. Right? So if sales is a weak link environment, the best thing you can do is focus on those bottom players and bring them up or get them out. Coaching is the way to do that. So I want you guys to think about this when you're looking at your sales teams. Are you treating it like a strong link environment or a weak link environment? And are you getting those people up? Are you committed to getting them up? Hey, look at that, I said that. Sales is weak link. What I like to do is, when it comes to coaching, I want to treat it all link. I'm not going to ignore my high performers, but I'm certainly not going to focus just on them. And I'm not going to ignore my bottom people. I'm going to put more time in on them. And I'm probably going to say this a bunch. If someone sucks, they suck. You got to get them out. But it's our job. If somebody sucks at what they do, whose fault is that? Who said that? You. Oh, you had a beer. I was going to say, I had a beer, I'd give you a beer. He's right. He's absolutely right. We are responsible for our team. If they're underperforming, it's our fault. Either we're not giving the support, we're not giving them the resources, we're not coaching them, we're not providing what they need, or we hired the wrong person. But under no circumstances is it their fault. We hired them. We're supporting them. So the best thing we do is treat it all link, get focused on how to bring the whole team up, get them where they need to be. So how do we do that? Become a killer coach. You like that you knew where I was going, right? I mean, it was foreshadowing all day long, right? We need to become great coaches. And coaching isn't beating people over the head. Coaching isn't swooping in, hey, you did that wrong, fix it, and swooping out. That's just being a pain in the ass, right? So, well, I'm going to share with you a methodology that you can take back from today and implement tomorrow. I wish I could take full credit for this, but I can't. I'm a ski instructor for Vail, a PSIA certified ski instructor. I know, I'm a brother, I get it. I feel the same way when I see a white dude at a sushi bar, right? I mean, I get it. Really, he's cutting my sushi, right? You should see what it looks like it on the slope, but I really am. And I give skiing credit for this because getting my level 2 certified, level 2 certification in skiing was no joke. Like, oh, I can ski, and I got my level 1 in a day, and oh yeah, no. It is 3 full days of testing. One for movement analysis, which I'll explain in a minute, another one for my skiing ability, and another one for how I can put together a lesson plan. Only 50% passed in their first try. I mean, it's no joke. And so I learned a lot of things from that I've carried over into this when it comes to being a coach and teaching people. And a framework they use is called observe, describe, prescribe. I'll go to the bottom half in a minute. So when I was getting my certification, my level 2, and there's only 3, by the way, in case you're wondering. The next one is a level 3 cert, and that is, I don't have the time. I mean, it's a lot, might as well be my full-time career to get that, but I will when I retire. That is on the bucket list. One of the days I said was movement analysis. What you do in movement analysis when it comes to skiing is your whole job is to watch a skier and be able to assess what they are doing. So what they did for us in the training is they would first take us in a room and they'd show us a video. Now, skiing's broken into 4 fundamental segments, right? Forward, aft, tipping, edging, rotary, and foot-to-foot pressure. So they would say, okay, Keenan, there's a skier. What do you see in foot-to-foot pressure? And I got to tell them what I see. I can't tell them what they're not doing. I got to tell them what I see, and then I have to explain why I see it. And this is where I want to go with this in sales. I work with a lot of sales organizations. A sales guy consulting works with different companies of all different sizes, and I go in and I watch how they coach these people or train these people. You don't do that right. You don't do that right. Well, any skiers in here? Anybody ever taken, or any sport, anybody take a lesson of any type? Let me see hands of lessons. Especially when you do. How does it go when the instructor looks at you and says, well, you're doing that wrong? You're like, well, hello, that's why I'm here. Right? If I knew it was wrong, I probably wouldn't be doing it. Right? Same thing. We have to start understanding what it is we're looking for and articulate that to the salespeople. So the first thing we want to do is build an observation methodology that allows us to observe what the salesperson is doing. One of my favorite recently is call recording, Exec Vision, Steve Richards, check them out, I like them. I sit and listen to the calls of my clients, or I sit and listen to the calls of my biz dev people. And I listen from an observation standpoint. I want to hear how they're setting the call up. I want to hear how they're doing their discovery process. I want to hear how they're transitioning. I want to understand their ability to craft a solution. So I work with my clients and my own team, and I say, okay, this is what a particular call should look like, or this is what a meeting should look like. We have to create the environment and tell them what we want to see. Same thing in skiing. They taught me when I get my certification, this is what you want to see, this is what you look for, this is how you know you found it. You want to do the same thing. Observe. Please, this is the most important part. And believe it or not, few organizations do this well. Set up an environment that allows you to observe and know what you're looking for in each one of those environments. Structure it, okay? After you do that, this is the fun part, because you get to get in their butt. No, I'm kidding. Is describe. The next part is you have to describe back to the rep what you see. And this is hard. It's hard for me, it's hard for other people, because I'm putting limits on it. You have to literally describe what you see. Right? You cannot say, oh, you're not doing this, or do that better. This isn't the prescriptive stage. This is a stage where you literally say exactly what you've observed or you heard. And by the way, observe doesn't just have to be visual. It can be auditory? Auditory, thank you. I knew I was going to mess it up. See, that's why I have her in the audience. She helps me out. She's got little cards. Right? So however you're getting the information in, then describe exactly what you see. I was on a call the other day and with my biz dev guy, and I go, Max, in this call, when the prospect said this, you said this, or you did this. I want them to be anchored in their exact behavior. I want them to understand what I'm observing. Prescribe's going to come next, but I want to do that. So as you're observing, take notes about what you see. What are they doing? How are they responding, right? Your natural inclination is going to be what they aren't doing. It's just, I see it over and over, right? I even catch it in skiing. Sometimes, oh, you're not, oh, wait, never mind, I didn't say that, right? Don't fall into the trap of telling them what they didn't do. Oh, you didn't ask for the clothes. No, no, no. Don't do that, okay? Then after that, it's about prescription. This is where you get to provide your feedback, your expertise, what you know. We're all geniuses in here, right? Who's not a genius? See, I like that. We got some geniuses. Yeah, there you go. I like you. You can be my coach. I like you, right? This is where your expertise comes in. This is what salespeople want. Over 50% of salespeople say they want more coaching. They're not getting it. Why do they want the coaching? They want the feedback. How many people here were salespeople at one time? As long as it's coming from a productive place and a coach you like, how many people love feedback? Right? We love feedback. We want it if we believe it's in our best interest. Nobody likes feedback when they're on a performance plan, because it's not feedback. Right? It's the political way of trying to get your ass out of the place, right? But if it's real, true feedback, we love it. We love it. And so do salespeople. This is where you do it. Break down each approach, each thing you see. So let's say you see you didn't ask for the clothes. We don't say what you didn't do. What we tell them is what we saw. Then when we prescribe, we say, you know, next time in this situation, how about asking this question? Next time in this situation, when you find yourself here, try this. I recommend this. Why don't we role play for a second? Give them something prescriptive to apply after you've observed what they were doing, described what you saw. Give them something to use next time. This is our job as sales leaders. This is the really interesting piece. Rarely do I see coaching broken down this way, because there are two sides to coaching. I get it, and we're going to get to the other side in a second. Our job as coaches is to our job number one is to what? Ah, here we go. Can I get a witness? Come on, people. I know what they're doing over there at Anthony Robbins right now, and they're yelling and screaming, jumping around. Come on, we can do better. Number one is to what? Woo! Number two is to what? Number 3 is, woo! See, look at this. Look at this. I like this. All right, see? If I had more beer, I'd give it out. I'd just give it out. But like 20 bucks a bottle, I could only get a 6-pack. You know, it's hotel beer. So yes, that's our job as leaders. But even though I'm a good liberal, people have to be accountable for themselves. Yeah, see? So the other side of the equation is them. They have to do something. The coachee has to do something. The coachee is responsible for their own development. They have to take the feedback. And what we call that is absorb. Right? Are they absorbing what you're saying? Are they taking it in? I really, really look for this in the hiring process. I have to have coachable people. If you're not coachable, out. Don't have time, and neither should you. Every person here should be coachable. If you can't get a coachable, I don't care how good they are, boot them. Because the minute the tide turns, the minute something gets bad, the minute something goes wrong, they ain't gonna fix it, because they're not coachable. We need to be watching and paying attention to where they're absorbing. I learned this from Mark Roberge. Anybody know Mark? HubSpot? Great guy. He and I did a really cool webinar together, and then we merged these. My first part, his second part. It was fantastic. He has a great methodology where when he's going through the interview process, he gives someone some feedback and then says, okay, let's do it all over again. And he wants to see, did they take in any of the feedback? He doesn't care if they apply it well, which I'll get to in a second. He just wants to see, did they absorb it? Did it sink in? And if it didn't, that's a big red flag. So in your case, if they're already working for you, you got them. So pay attention to, are they absorbing it? Are they getting it? Give them a chance to show you. Ask them to play it back. Do a role play. Ask them to explain what you just explained to them. Because if you move on before they absorbed it, that's your fault. That's your fault. You have to believe they understand it. Okay? Then we have to see if they can apply it. Best place to do that is in the role play. There you go, baby. The best place is in the role play. Do role play with them. Give them an opportunity to try it without having to be in front of a customer. Give them an opportunity to apply it, get more feedback, give and take, go back and forth, because that's going to allow them to get comfortable. That's going to allow them to feel good about what's happening. Watch and see how they apply it. And then here's the best part, right? Frame the environment, frame the targeting, and watch how they apply it. Okay? Then rinse and repeat. Send them back out. And what are we going to start doing again? Oh, yes, exactly. We start absorbing all over it. Now, here's the cool part. We're going to be looking for different things now, because we've given some feedback. We've explained what we're looking for. So now we're going to be looking for the improvement. We're going to be looking to see how they applied what we shared with them. And the cycle repeats itself, right? It repeats itself. So I observe, then I describe what I saw, and then I prescribe something new. Hey, this was great. Why don't you try this for a little piece? And that's how it goes in all the coaching sessions. So you think that's it, right? With 9 minutes to spare, you think that's it? Not so fast. Because I believe there are different types of coaching, right? There are the type of coaching that helps me with my skills, tactical selling, my ability to do a discovery call, my ability to engage with a customer, my business acumen. Oh, I love this. Yay, look at that. You guys like that slide, huh? All right, there you go, right? But guess what? There's more to that. There's more than just the pipeline development, the deal strategy. So I look to coach those on a weekly basis. And that, again, that can be sitting in the pipeline meeting. If you have a small organization, if you're a larger one, I recommend setting a half hour, 45 minutes once a week with your direct reports. And by the way, guys, this can also be if you are if you're not a front line, but if you're a second tier or third tier, in other words, you have manager directors, you can do the same thing. This works all the way down. I meet with them regularly, and I go through the tactical stuff, okay? Big asterisk. Do not do this directly after a call. If you go out on a call with your salesperson, don't get in the car and start doing this. Leave it for a preset time. Set up the time, keep it, and deliver it. Nobody likes it off the cuff, out of nowhere. It's too much, they can't absorb it. You don't have time to think about it, and I promise you, you won't describe very well. You'll butcher it, okay? But then, besides that, I like to go to another level, and these are for the personal development goals. Look, how many of you have had the really, really good salesperson, but they have a horrible EQ, right? Or they want to be a manager, or they want to get into a leadership position, but they're just not ready. Right? Dan Ross, if you guys were here earlier from Salesforce, did a great job on the 7 skills you can't teach. It was awesome. But I don't believe you can teach it, but you can absolutely help people get better at them if they have them. Curiosity, creativity. I'm butchering this. There were some good ones. Anyone want to help me here? Oh, no one said it was great. Look them up. Yes. Self-awareness, exactly. So I like these because every 6 weeks I want to sit down and talk to them about where they're going, what they're trying to achieve, and where they're going as an individual, and act as a broader coach. Not the tactical sense, but the strategic sense. Right? Quarterly, I do it from a planning perspective. I'm a big quarterly planner because, look, shit happens. Things change instantly. I want my team looking forward. So I work with salespeople to talk to them about how are you developing your sales plan looking forward? How did you get there? And so that's what I like because it crosses both. It's execution-based. I can help them get to their number. I can help them think strategically, but it also allows me to observe how they break down their business. Salespeople are CEOs of one. They should be looking out. They should understand where they are in their sales pipeline. They should understand what they need to get it done. They should understand how they're working with their clients and customers, and they need to have a plan to get there. So I like to work with them on a quarterly basis on that planning process to help them understand their business from a strategic perspective. And then after all that, it's the performance reviews. I put this in there only because I know some of you have to do them. But if you do it right, a performance review, if you have a litmus test. I should have put this as a buzzword. As a little tweetable. If your performance reviews surprise the salesperson, you fucked up. You screwed up so bad, I don't know what to tell you. Because if you're doing a good job coaching, there's nothing they don't know that you don't know that they don't know. Right? So I teach skiing, and I do it 14 days a year. It's not very much. But over Christmas, I have to do it for 6 days. I do it in Vail. Anybody ever go to Vail? Oh, Vail rocks. You guys are missing out. Vail, Colorado, phenomenal. But anyways, so I get the same clients. They book me the same time of Christmas every year. It's a blast. I have a lot of fun with them. They know exactly. Sometimes they come back and say, oh, after I left you, I went to, Whistler, and I practiced this. Does it look any better, Keenan? Like, they know. They know. They know. There is no surprise whatsoever. So I put this here for the performance reviews in the perspective that says, when you get to that performance review, it should be nothing more than an evaluation of everything you coached on and how you felt they applied it. And that's what it is. That's what it is. And then repeat. Just do that all over again. Stay committed to it. Take pride in knowing that you have developed somebody. I can tell you in my years, maybe on one hand, I could tell you a story of somebody who boasted about developing somebody. People boast all the time. Oh, I made quota. I went on President's Club. I grew the organization by 27% year over year. Nobody brags about developing somebody. Nobody brags about that person that nobody thought was very good, and they came on your team, and now they're one of the top performers. Why? Why don't we take pride in that? I had a boss early in my career, and if you guys think I'm crazy now, imagine me at 28. running around in my first sales job. And I'll never forget, he looked at me, his name was Craig, and he looked at me and said, Keenan, you are the easiest guy in the world to manage. And I said, why is that? And he says, all I have to do is tell you you can't do something, and you go do it. It's like you lock in, you're offended. So if I say something to you like, hey, Keenan, I'm not really sure you can tone it down in front of a customer. I know the next customer, you'll be there with your hands folded, biting your tongue, won't say a damn word. He took pride in my development. And when I started with that company, they called me the Labrador Retriever puppy. Because, okay, I'll go get it. Okay, I'll go get it. I mean, that's how I was. And 3 years later, I was a partner and was asked to open a branch in Seattle. How that organization developed me was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And I wouldn't be here today, in my opinion, without what I learned from them and that manager. So that's your job. Start thinking about how you can take pride in the development and growth of the people that work for you, that look up to you for your paycheck, that look up to you for guidance. Think about how you can make that happen. And there's a bonus slide. So as you're taking that pride and you're looking to do that, if you come across someone who's not coachable, kick them the fuck out. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Because they're a waste. They're a waste. What they're telling you is, I am not open to feedback. I am not open to changing. I am not opening to listen. I am going to shut down. And there is absolutely, positively, unequivocally no progress when someone is not coachable. Don't waste a minute on it. Talk to HR, come up with the plan, but get them out. They will eat you alive. That's a promise. It's an absolute promise. So, with that, now you can thank me.